Hey folks, hope you're all doing well. We're here to have a look at another mod overview, this time for Red Alert 2 Chrono Divide. This is an interesting project that aims to bring you Red Alert 2 but playable through a browser, so rather than doing it through a main game executable. There's a couple of reasons that this might be beneficial. I actually reached out to the devs and I was like, hey, I'm kind of curious, like, what are the main rationales? Why would you want to play Red Alert 2 in a browser, right? And some of the things that seemed to come up was around the idea of having users with some Windows 10 initial setup problems, so it kind of helps alleviate that. It also benefits in terms of cross-platform play, so between, let's say, Linux and Windows users, it should be a nice workaround for that. There's also a lot of potential improvements. The base Red Alert 2 game included with, say, the Origin Ultimate Collection does not have a lot of patch support or official patch support, so to speak. There is, of course, engine extensions like Ares and Phobos that are out there that modders tend to use, but using it in a browser is enabling the developers of this to do some of their own patching and improvements. And possibly down the line, there's a lot of opportunities that this could open up. Now we're talking kind of further down the line here quite a bit, but I could see a world where you're able to use unified mod inis, for example, and play mods in a browser even, which would be pretty cool. So there is a lot of potential and cool things that could come from this project. It's currently in alpha, version v0.2, so it is very early access, so to speak. It's available to the public, so anyone can play it. You do need currently to have a copy of Red Alert 2 or at least own the .mix assets from the install folder in order to be able to play this. And that's a recent addition that they have made to this because of legal requirements for what the game needs, legally speaking. Otherwise, you'd be basically giving a game that's currently not abandonware or freeware to people for free, and that has its own legal ramifications. But what's included in this? You can go into the website chronodivide.com, which is where we are currently. Have a look through some of the information here. They've got, as you can see here, Alpha v0.2. They also have their Discord server, which we'll have a brief look at in a second. I definitely recommend checking it out for a few reasons. If you're curious about the game requirements, here they are on screen. Not very hefty requirements, as you would expect for a game that is this old. Media, you can have a look through their YouTube stuff here and a couple of screenshots and everything else. Community, again, all the links are here. Play Alpha now and the main link. But before we go to that, just to show you their Discord page, and one of the reasons why you might want to actually go on here is under their dev progress section. They have a full list of systems that they've been working on, what's implemented, what's not implemented, and what won't be implemented. So you can read this at your leisure. Again, go to their dedicated Discord channel. I'll leave a link below the video as well so you can easily get to it. But you can see there's quite a bunch of stuff that is implemented, but there is also still quite a bunch of stuff that is not implemented, and some stuff that looks like it won't be implemented as well. Some of this is important to know before going in to try and play some multiplayer matches, because not all basic units, structures, and faction specific structures, super weapons are available. So as you can see here, for example, currently in v0.2, America don't have paratroopers, Korea don't have Black Eagle, Iraq doesn't have Desolator, but there's also some basic structures and things missing too. Infantry, flak trooper, seal, Tanya logic, spy logic, etc. So there is some caveats with this, so bear in mind, again, this is alpha access. So there's always going to be a little bit of teething, but I know the main devs behind this are eager to try and get people to hop on board and try it out and see what the bugs are, and they're making relatively quick patches to it as well, which is pretty awesome. So that's cool. They've got a bunch of other stuff on here. They've got an announcement section, so if you want to keep up to date with all the recent changes and stuff, it's all on here. The most recent one, as I say, is the requirement to supply your own .mix files to play this online. Beforehand, you could just pop onto the chronodivide.com site and it would load straight up, but that was serving the main game's assets, which is a slight legal gray area. So instead, it's now requiring you to upload your own. And the beta version, or the most up-to-date version of what they're currently testing, is available on this URL, staging.chronodivide.com, as opposed to just the game.chronodivide.com, which will take you to the most, I guess, stable-ish released version too. So that's how that looks. If you click on this, as I say, it'll take you to game.chronodivide.com. If you go to the staging branch, however, this is the most up-to-date version of the game, and this is what we're going to be trying out during this. The very first time you do it, you'll be presented with this screen. All you need to do here is, if you have a local install of Red Alert 2, is go into Browse folder, go to your origin. I happen to have Red Alert 2 via origin. Select the folder, hit upload, and you should be flying it. Because I've already done this, I don't need to do it here again. But if you do have issues doing any of that stuff, again, reach out on the Discord, the comments below, and we'll give you a hand. It's no problem. But I have that here. So once you've already set that up, you can hit into here, hit OK. There you have it, Red Alert 2 in browser. Kind of crazy, right? It's quite cool idea. Currently on v0.7.6, I guess, is their current beta version numbering. Full screen, Alt and F, so you can actually make this full screen, which is one of the first things we'll do. Here we are. In terms of options, the only single thing that they seem to give you access to here is in terms of your scroll rate. I definitely crank it all the way up because I'm used to it. Keyboard, so you can set all your key bindings for the various things that you would expect here. I'm just using the default, so I'm not planning to remap any of this, but there are options there to do it. In terms of sound, you can mess around with these settings yourself towards your liking. They seem okay from my end, so I'll leave it as it is. Replays, so it seems like there is a replay system. You can look back through previous games that you have played in here, which is very cool. Demo mode is what we'll check out now in a second, and then there's the custom match. There's also seems to be quick match setting here, but it's not enabled as of yet. Well, custom match, just to have a look in here so you can see. You can create your own account with the site. It takes 2 seconds. It's not very long process. They don't ask you for much, just your email and password. Here's currently, just happens to be what the games and stuff up are, but just to show you what accessibility there is in here, you can hit create game. You can choose to have a password, and you can also choose if you want to just observe the match and have others join in and watch it. I'm just going to quickly pop in here to show you these things. So you got the host, you've got all the current available factions: America, Korea, France, Germany, Great Britain, Libya, Iraq, Cuba, Russia. All the colors. Observer slot, you can open an observer slot if you wish. You can have one, it looks like, per lobby. Short game, MC repacks, crate reappear, super weapons, build off allied conyards, game speed, credits, unit count, etc. Customized battle, you can go in here. 4 different game types. Battle, you can ally with other players. Free for all, you can't ally with each other. Unholy alliance, players begin with both a Soviet and allied MCVs. That's kind of a cool game mode. Meat grinder, players are limited to basic ground units. So you do have all those. You also have quite a bunch of maps. As we saw in the Discord channel, they actually have a full list of the maps that are available. I'm sure if you ask nicely, you can request the addition of additional maps in here if there's one that you have particular fondness for and wish to see included early. But yeah, this is kind of how it looks up. You got myself here, some random user here. If they're readied up, you can see the little star beside their name. The host will have the H next to it. Yeah, before we actually go into games or anything like that, that's a good overview of what's available for the customization. But just, we'll go into a demo mode section here. They don't have skirmish and they don't have single player stuff included with this, but they do have this, which is quite interesting. They give you access to a training dummy AI. The dummy AI currently doesn't do anything. It's just, it spawns with its MCV units and stays static. It might attack if you attack it, but that's about it. It doesn't have any building capabilities or anything like that. But just to pop in here so you can have an idea of how this looks and feels and all that good stuff. I guess we'll try France. We'll show off the allies a little bit, and then we'll switch to one of the Soviet factions, and then I might show you some gameplay from multiplayer games. But if we go here, hit start, you can see that we're just like straight into Red Alert 2. And remember, this is all in a browser, right? So if I hit escape, like it's pretty wild that this is all in a browser. But you can have your hotkeys. I'll make this full screen again. Alt and F anytime will make you full screen. The only kind of really annoying thing is if I want to go into a menu setting while full screen and hit escape, it takes me back here first, and then I hit escape and get in here. But it's a small caveat, like it's not a huge deal. The sprites and stuff look pretty much the same as the regular game, as you would expect it. It's using the same assets from the .mix files. The most recent version of this on staging that we're currently playing also has the music added in, so you can hear the classics, Hell March. and everyone else.
On my way.
As I say, it has a limited selection of maps.
Ready to roll. Down forward.
I think there's like between 12 to 14, I want to say offhand. Don't quote me on that. Yeah,
Building.
and show off just a couple of these units here.
Orders double time.
Unit ready.
Ready to roll. Outstanding. Vehicle ready.
Construction complete.
So it's quite an ambitious project in terms of what they're doing with this. As I say, the potential for this in future, like once you get the basics up off the ground and you've got most of the basic functionality in here, you can then start looking at supporting things like mods through custom shared.ini files, which would be pretty cool and would save you a lot of hassle with local RA2 installs for every single mod that you have. So I do hope that the project does take off in a good way and the development continues to progress the way it has been.
On our way, sir.
There is still tech structures, however, I believe America doesn't currently have access to paratroopers because the paratrooper logic hasn't been implemented in this mod yet. So capturing that unfortunately won't give me access to units. Here you can see, for example, a not implemented unit, so the Rocketeer, $600. So again, I would recommend maybe trying out a couple of the factions before you necessarily go and play online in a kind of semi-competitive manner, I guess. Just so you can kind of get an idea for what units you may or may not have access to. It's not necessarily super clear in the game client itself. It's one thing that might be nice for them to include if possible. But with the current setup, this is what you have access to. Harriers, again, not implemented, so can't build any of those. It was like 0.7.6, I think it was.
Construction complete.
And you can see on the bottom, just as a reminder, that this is in fact an alpha build, so it's not going to have access to absolutely all the features. Here's the Grand Cannon. It's pretty cool. We're just going to try and like tech up a little bit and see roughly what's available and what's not available for the allies here, and then switch to Soviets. So this is the War Factory, Battle Lab next. War Factory, we can build Chrono Miner, a couple of those, and build Grizzly tanks.
Cancel.
Build IFVs, currently not implemented. Nighthawk Transport, not implemented. Harrier, not implemented. So as I was saying, there are a lot of caveats with this being an alpha. It doesn't have the full access to the tech tree, but this is just the current overview of what is included at a rough level. And here you can see the training dummy AI just sort of sitting static. They attacked my dog, I guess, that I sent over this way, which is why they're out of position.
On hold.
We're going to tech up here. I'll sell this cannon. We've seen what it looks like. So France have access to their special structure / unit.
On hold.
We got a battle lab down.
New construction options.
Prism tanks you have access to. That's pretty cool. Don't have Mirage tanks, unfortunately. In terms of the units here, we don't have Rocketeers, don't have Spies, don't have Tanya, and we don't have Chrono Legionnaires. We do have a Spy Satellite though.
Building.
So this will get that going. Ore Purifier, we don't have implemented yet. Service Depot, I guess we'll get one of those. Might enable the production of Conyards, I'm not sure. It's been a while since I played. Base Red Alert 2.
Training.
So here's the Prism tank.
Unit report. Yes, sir. On our way, sir.
And see, the animation and stuff looks a little bit different, I would say, from the base game. You can just kind of notice it. Here, obviously, it's a local game, so to speak. I'm not quite sure what's happening behind the engine, if this is like running on a certain port as an online game, so to speak. But obviously, there's not a lot of latency or lag or anything like that here. I have tried out a few of the online games, online lobbies, and I've had mixed results in terms of latency. We can build an allied MCD, so that's cool. But I've had mixed experiences with the online. For the most part, it seems to be pretty good with its latency. There's your Spy Satellite straight away giving you full vision of the map. Pretty cool. And I guess we'll show off Prison Tower and the Patriot missiles just so you can see how the models look in this beta version, and then we'll switch over to the Soviets. So we can sell this.
Structure sold.
Oh, okay, so if you sell your tech, you actually lose the ability to build it. Fair enough. It's worth noting. Engineers are single capture in this. I didn't see an option in the custom lobbies to
Construction
toggle it to
complete.
multi-engineer, so that's something as well to be aware of. And here's your prism tower. We'll see
On
if
hold.
they. I'm assuming it has the logic. I'm not sure if it has the logic yet to have multiples chained together, but we'll see. It'll only take us a minute to have a look at.
Low drag.
Construction complete. Cannot deploy here.
So for one, there's your basic fire.
Construction complete.
We'll get two of them. Yeah, so it doesn't quite look like they line up yet and chain their attacks. So that is, I guess, something to be mindful of depending on your playstyle and everything else. Gap generators, again, not currently implemented. Patriot missiles will just fire one of these down and then we'll pop out and check out one of the Soviet factions. One thing I will say is, again, in the skirmish lobbies, it doesn't tell you the special unit of each faction. It's something that you would have to have prerequisite knowledge of outside of the game. And there's the Patriot missile. So it's just something to be aware of. Yeah. So we hit abort here. That's a look at the allies. This time we'll go into our demo mode and we'll have a look at one of the Soviet factions. I guess Libya or Russia. I guess we'll try Russia, see what they have. I think by default Russia usually get access to Tesla tanks, so we'll see if it's implemented yet or not. Do a different map, just to show off a different map. Why not? Credits, 10,000. Super weapons. We didn't have these implemented in the last game. I'll toggle this and see if you can build it. As far as I know, they're not implemented, but I could be wrong. And we'll pop in here. Again, very unusual that you can play this in a browser. It's quite a fun novelty. I'm currently playing this on a 1080p monitor, so this is how it looks like in a browser by default. So it kind of looks like it reduces down to like the not quite 800, 600, but like maybe 1024 style. But then if you hit Alt F again, it goes full screen, and you get the whole 1920 1080 experience. It is a little bit troublesome that you can't configure it, or you don't seem to be able to manually set the resolution in the options in game. It just defaults to your browser size, which is probably good for the average user, but if you're trying to like do video capture or things like that, it can be a little bit of a pain in the ass. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about that too much. Let me just move this a little bit.
Construction complete.
Put this like about here, so it's not driving people nuts. There we go.
New construction options.
Cool. So we have access to dogs, conscripts, Tesla troopers, sentry guns, flak cannons, war factory. I haven't shown this in the last match, but you can have your conscripts and things go into structures. So garrisoning does seem to be enabled. We'll test the Tesla coils and see if they can be used without power. And if that is the case, can we use a Tesla trooper to power it up? So I believe that was something in the original game that you could do. I suspect it's likely not implemented yet, as this is very early beta stages, but we will see.
New construction options.
Get another war miner, so we can get Rhino heavy tanks. Looks like terror drones aren't implemented and the flak track's not implemented. Here's the flak cannon, however. Also worth showing off the wall logic if it's just single tile or if it's actually going to let you do multiples. Here's the radar tower. So in terms of walls, we got one here. You can see it feels,
Unit ready.
you know, it feels very similar to Red Alert 2, as you would expect.
Construction complete.
It has like pretty much all of the elements of the game that you would
Construction
expect. It
complete.
feels like it. There is a
Building.
little there is a little something to it that feels a little bit off in terms of movement or motion or something, and I can't quite put my finger on what that is. Part of it might just be the fact that I'm not playing this on a higher game speed, which is fair enough.
Training.
Looks like we do have Tesla tanks here, so we can show those off.
Building.
But yeah, it's overall though it does feel pretty good. Like it feels, you know, it has the aesthetic. It looks the part. It seems to run without many issues. Crazy Ivan not implemented. Flak Trooper not
Insufficient
implemented.
funds.
Ready, comrade. Position.
Insufficient funds.
Waiting order. For the Union. Vehicle we will bury them. Ready,
Insufficient
comrade.
funds.
Location confirmed. Location confirmed.
Come on. Just trying to build these three things at once when I only have
Insufficient
two harvesters
funds.
is a little bit of a push.
Insufficient funds.
Ready, comrade. Moving.
Insufficient funds. Unit ready. New construction options.
You can build a nuclear reactor.
Building.
It's pretty cool. Cloning vats not yet
Insufficient
implemented.
funds.
Apocalypse tank is implemented. Cure off your ship not implemented yet, sadly. Here's the Tesla tank.
We will bury them. Waiting order. Moving. Encountering enemy.
Insufficient
Ready,
funds.
location confirmed.
Looks like, yeah, the nuke and the Iron Curtain and the Psychic Sensor here are not implemented, so if you enable super weapons currently, it doesn't seem like it's going to
On hold.
necessarily have a great effect.
Training.
Let's try to get this nuclear reactor down.
Construction complete.
So you can see the before we do that, the Tesla isn't actually powering up the coil at the moment, the infantry.
Cannot deploy.
So you do need it to be on, and he doesn't power it up when it does the power yet. So again, similar to the prison towers, they don't seem to have the logic for the chaining of it to work, or for the
Insufficient
incremental
funds.
improvement to the damage to go up. Huge amount of power from that nuclear reactor, as you'd expect. I guess service depot is the other
Building.
thing. It should enable me to build a secondary Soviet MCV. Since they had the Allied one implemented, I see no reason why the Soviets shouldn't have access to a MCV as well after building a Soviet depot.
Unit ready.
As far as I know, yeah, you can't put anything other than basic infantry in these things. Here's the Apocalypse tank.
Ready, comrade.
Like, there's something a little bit weird about the movement. Maybe it's just me, but it just seems like the way the turret rotation and stuff kinda acts. Not in a bad way either. It's just that it is kinda noticeable. But yeah, there's your Apocalypse tank. Service depot down here. You can build a Soviet MCV. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything here we've checked out. So we can't build Crazy Ivan, can't build Yuri. Can't build the air off, can't build the V3, can't build the Terra drone. So it is very much alpha, right? Like there's a lot of things good going for it, but at the end of the day, it is also a case that you are limited in terms of what you can do with the engine in its current state. You can play multiplayer games, you can match up, you can do customs. There is a quick match option in the menu, but it's not currently enabled, so it looks like it's a future feature, which will be good if you just want to hop on, get quick matches. Maybe it'll have a ladder or some system like that. I'm not too sure myself what their intention is for it.
Unit ready.
But yeah, there's our Soviet MCV.
Moving. Vehicle reporting. Ready, comrade. Moving.
But all in all, it's
Ready, comrade.
yeah, like
Ready,
it's.
comrade.
I don't know what more people would like to know about this. Like, it's like you can see the resizing of the browser changing the in-game resolution here. So like, if your screen is a lot smaller, you can potentially do it. If you're on a Linux machine, this should work as well. As far as I'm aware, once you can supply the ra2.mix files, you're all good on that front. I'll resize this a little bit, and yeah, that's it. Like it's a cool thing. Like it's a real fun project for people, for the devs to be working on. And like I say, there are reasonings behind it that could be quite beneficial for the community. It all kind of depends on every individual's needs. But this is again available at staging.chronodivide.com. This is the staging version, the most up-to-date beta branch, if you like. That was the demo mode section of this. What I might do at this point is cut the video and I'll play a few multiplayer matches and see if I can string some of the gameplay and stuff from that together and put that on the end of the video. But aside from that, that's pretty much covers Chrono Divide. Definitely worth checking out. It's free, why not? Good job to the devs so far on what's here. I'm sure that they'd be more than happy to get any feedback from the community in terms of their experiences with it, if they've had difficulties trying to get it set up, if there are requested maps or any of that kind of stuff. The Discord channel for it is definitely the place to go. But yeah, I'm going to hop off at this point and wish you all the very best with the rest of the Red Alert anniversary. And be sure, if you enjoyed this and all that good stuff, to drop a like, subscribe and all that. And I'll catch you for the next video. Peace out, guys.
Ready to roll.
New construction options.
Unit reporting. High speed, low ready to roll. Outstanding. Securing position. On our way, sir. Unit reporting. Forward. Destination, Commander. Unit reporting. On our way, sir. Ready to roll.
Construction complete. New construction options. Construction complete. Cannot deploy here. New construction options. Unit ready. Building. Unit ready. Construction complete.
Yes, sir. High speed, on our way, sir. Yes, sir. Bound forward.
Construction complete. Cannot deploy here. New construction options.
Destination,
Building.
high speed, low drag. Vehicle bound ready. Forward. Bound forward. High speed, low drag.
Construction complete.
Unit reporting.
Building.
On our way, sir. On our way, sir. On our way, sir. Closing in. Yes, sir. Weapon ready.
Unit lost.
Destination, Commander. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Outstanding. Bound forward. Securing position. Ready to roll. Outstanding. Securing position. Yes, sir. Good to go. Bound. Securing
Construction complete.
Orders. High speed. Low drag. Some action.
New construction options.
Yes, sir. Unit reporting. Weapon ready. Vehicle ready. Ready. Yes, sir.
Unit lost. Unit promoted.
Got it.
Unit promoted. On hold. Unit promoted. Player resigned. You are victorious.
Player
Ready,
resigned.
comrade.
New construction options.
Unit reporting, sir.
Construction complete.
Comrade, moving out.
New construction options. Building.
Yes, sir. Ready, comrade. Vehicle
Construction
Location
complete.
confirmed. Vehicle
New
reporting.
construction options. Building.
Location confirmed. Waiting order. Moving. Changing position.
Unit lost.
Location moving. Changing position.
Construction complete. Cannot deploy here. New construction options. Building.
Waiting orders.
Unit ready. Building. Construction complete. New construction options.
Vehicle reporting. Waiting order. Location confirmed. Encountering enemy. Vehicle reporting. Encountering enemy.
Unit lost.
Location confirmed. Moving. Ready, comrade.
Building.
Moving.
Our base is under attack.
Ready, comrade. Location moving. Changing position. Waiting order.
Unit promoted. Our base is under attack.
Comrade.
Construction complete. Our base is under attack. Unit lost.
Conscript reporting. Ready, comrade. Changing position. Moving. Changing position. Location confirmed.
Our base is under attack. Unit lost. Our base is under attack.
Unit reporting.
New construction options. Construction complete. New construction options. Building. Construction complete. New construction options. Building. Unit ready. Construction complete. Unit ready. Training. Construction complete. Unit ready. Unit ready. New construction options. Building.
Ready. Can do. On the move. Squared away, sir. Can do. Double time. On the move. Orders on my way. Can do. Double time. Moving out.
Construction complete. Cannot deploy here. construction options. Cannot deploy here. Building.
Ready, got it! On the move!
Unit lost.
Can do!
Unit ready. Construction complete. Training. Cannot deploy here. Building. Building. Insufficient funds. Unit ready. Insufficient funds. Unit ready. Construction complete. Unit ready. Training. Construction complete. New construction options. Building. Unit ready. Insufficient funds. Construction complete.
Ready to roll. Good to go. On our way, sir.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Building. On hold. Building.
Ready to roll. Good to go. Bound. On our way,
Insufficient funds. Insufficient funds.
sir. Destination, Commander. Low drag. Good to go. Good to go.
Unit ready.
Outstanding.
Construction complete.
Good to go. Ready to roll. Good to go. Driver up.
Insufficient funds.
Unit reporting. Outstanding. Driver up. Yes, sir. Bound. Good to go. Ready to roll.
Construction complete.
Yes, sir. Securing
Insufficient
position.
funds. Unit ready. Building. Unit promoted. Unit promoted. Insufficient funds.
Good to go. Bound. On our way. Good to go. Commence assault.
Player resigned. You are victorious. Unit ready. Insufficient funds.
Ready, comrade. Ready,
New
comrade.
construction options. Building.
Ready, moving. Changing position. Waiting orders. Ready, comrade. Moving. Moving.
Construction complete. New construction options.
Waiting
Building.
Waiting moving. Location confirmed. Location confirmed.
Construction
Moving.
complete. Cannot deploy here. New construction
comrade.
options.
Moving.
Unit ready.
Location confirmed. Moving. Ready, comrade. Moving. Changing
Unit
position.
ready.
Tools ready. Moving. Checking designs.
Ready,
Training.
comrade.
Unit ready. Construction complete. Cannot deploy here. New construction options.
Ready, comrade. Location confirmed. Ready, comrade. Changing position. Moving. Ready, comrade. Moving. Ready, comrade. Vehicle reposition.
building
Ready,
captured.
location confirmed. Vehicle report. Moving.
Our base is under attack.
Vehicle moving.
Unit lost. Ore miner under attack.
Vehicle moving. Location confirmed. Ready, comrade.
Unit lost.
Encountering
Our
enemy.
base is under attack. Training. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.
Location encountering enemy.
Unit
Location,
lost.
comrade. Moving out.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Battle control terminated.